𝗍𝗵𝗱𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍 description box below for the many ways to do that. Today we're going to talk about this beauty snowbush and how to keep this lovely plant healthy and happy in your indoor garden. Botanically known as Breynia disticha and also called Hawaiian snowbush, this tropical beauty features eye-catching bright white and green foliage. The variety Breynia disticha 𝗍𝗶𝗍𝗂𝗃 also has rose-colored leaves. I'm showing you a picture of that one right now. You can see how beautiful it is. Although it's called snowbush, this plant definitely does not like snow. In fact, it's native to the Pacific Islands, tropical Asia, and tropical Australia. Mature plants will produce small green flowers without petals that produce little round red fruit, although you don't see the fruit indoors very often. The plant will eventually reach 2 to 3 feet tall and about 1.5 feet wide indoors. I do have care stamps below for the various things you need to know about taking care of this plant, so feel free to jump to those. The first is lighting. Snowbush likes bright light. The more light you give the plant, the brighter the leaf colors will be. Provide bright indirect light by placing the plant 2 to 3 feet away from a southern window or in front of an eastern window. They also do well under full spectrum lighting. Turn the snowbush slightly every time you water so that it gets even lighting on all sides. Watering. Keep snowbush moist but not soggy. The worst thing you can do to this plant is let it dry out, as that will quickly lead to leaf loss and decline, and it's really hard to get the plant back into shape afterwards, so it's best to avoid droughting it. Water well when the surface of the soil has dried out and the plant has become more lightweight. If you are using a moisture meter, water when the moisture meter hits 4 and definitely before it gets to the 3. Always use warm water, and rather than tap water, use reverse osmosis, distilled, or rainwater. The leaves on this plant are delicate and tend to get brown edges easily from things like fluoride, chlorine, and chloramine, which are common in tap water. Fertilizing. Fertilize snowbush monthly, spring through fall, with a dilute solution of an organic fertilizer made for houseplants. This plant's thin, delicate leaves are susceptible to fertilizer burn, which will show up as brown, crispy leaves that will quickly fall off. Diluting the fertilizer by half will help avoid this as well. Even though you are using organic fertilizer, I would suggest doing that. Humidity. Snowbush does well in 45 to 60% humidity. If the humidity is lower than that, you will want to put the plant on a humidity pebble tray and mist it. If you live in a really dry climate, you may need a humidifier to keep it happy. You'll know it's unhappy when it starts to drop leaves and looks generally overall unhappy. Grouping plants is also effective as plants humidify each other. Use a hygrometer to check the humidity level in the plant's growing area. And I do have a video on using hygrometer. I will put a link for that video below, as well as any other videos I mention in this video. Provide air circulation when the humidity is on the higher end, as well, as that will help prevent fungal infections. These plants aren't highly susceptible to that, but if you really have high humidity, you really need to watch that with actually fungal infections and fungus growing on the soil with all your houseplants. So that air circulation will help considerably with that. You can use a fan and things that would give air circulation, but not in front of an air conditioning vent, because that dries out the air. I do have a video also on air circulation for houseplants. Temperature. Snowbush does best between 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. The plant will tolerate temperatures dipping to 60 degrees Fahrenheit for short periods of time, but don't let that linger, as the plant will protest and, you guessed it, drop leaves. Repotting. Repot snowbush when the plant has surpassed my 2/3 to 1/3 ratio, which I have videos on as well, and I will link those. You want the plant pot combination, so the plant and pot combination, to be 2/3 plant, as this is, to 1/3 pot. Another sign that you need to repot is the roots are growing out of the drainage holes, and that's more than one little root. It's a few roots. Pot up no more than 1 pot size up using a high quality potting soil that drains well, yet is also moisture retentive. I'll put a link to my favorite potting soil for this plant and many houseplants in the description box below. I also have a repotting series that walks you through all the steps to repotting your houseplants, and I will link that. Pruning. Snowbush is a quick grower and can quickly shoot up. To keep the plant bushy, lightly prune back on a regular basis. Use sharp pruning shears and cut back to just above a leaf node at a 45-degree angle. The plant will create more growth from there and create a bushier appearance. Generally speaking, you want to prune up to 1/3 of the plant at one time. And I do have pruning videos as well on various plants. Pests and diseases. Snowbush is generally free of pests and diseases, which is great. Occasionally it may become infected with mealybugs, but that is usually a sign that the plant is not being grown in ideal conditions. So if you make sure the plant is being grown in ideal conditions, it will do a really good job of fending off any sorts of pests. Propagation. This plant is best propagated in summer from stem tip cuttings. Use a moist rooting medium for the cuttings and rooting hormone. Once you've inserted the cuttings into the soil, cover with a humidity dome to hold in moisture and place it on a seedling heat mat. You should get roots on the cuttings in 3 to 6 weeks. So there you go with how to keep this lovely plant healthy and happy in your indoor garden. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening videos you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and please check the bell to be notified when new videos are released.